Classic Cinema with the Sage Sisters viewers and listeners, in case you're just listening to it. This today, Celeste and I are talking about another mental health movie that we both really love. It's called Home Before Dark. This is episode 18, and Home Before Dark came out in 1958. And Jean Simmons is the main character, and interestingly enough, her name is Charlotte, just like the main character in Now Voyager that
Yes.
we had just before this. So I want to read the description from Internet Movie Database because I think this is a very interesting
Yeah.
description. I mean, usually they don't, it's not like this. So it says Simmons, meaning Jean Simmons. Simmons is magnetic as Charlotte, her lovely, delicate face reflecting the inner turmoil of a woman battling for sanity after she walks out of a mental institution.
Yeah.
And some of the people who are in it with her are Dan O'Herlihy. He plays her husband Arnold. Rhonda Fleming plays her stepsister Joan. Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. plays Jake, who is he's boarding at their house. She discovers when she gets back from the mental institution. Now, I also Celeste and I were talking before we started recording, and we were talking about some of the viewer reviews, and one of the viewer reviews that I think was really interesting was pointing out
Oh,
that Mervyn
Mervyn
Leroy,
Leroy. Mervyn Leroy. Yeah.
did a really good job of making giving us little clues about why she was in the mental
Right.
hospital.
Right.
And then it's like, is she crazy? Is she not crazy? Is she
Right.
mentally ill? Is she not mentally
Right.
ill?
Right.
Is she, the things that she thinks are her delusions, are they really delusions or not? So
Right.
that's one of the things that I think is brilliant because
It is brilliant.
that
It is.
that viewer hit the nail on the head. And they
Yep.
said, this is not your typical movie.
No, it's not. Especially for 1958.
I know, really. And it's not your typical, well, they didn't have a whole lot of movies about mental health.
No,
There were
not.
some, but not a whole lot.
Well, and
Um,
the ones that they did have, it was clear. It was
yes.
clear that they did have some mental health issues. The
Yes.
way this one approaches it, it's really interesting. I really appreciate that very first scene is she's being walked down that long
Oh,
hallway
yeah.
out of the institution. And at the
Right.
very end of it, at the front door, is her husband. And as soon as she approaches him, she immediately wraps her arms around him and cries and is so happy to see him. And he just stands there as stiff as a board.
Yeah, he's
He
very
has no,
cold.
he has no obvious affection for her.
Right. Right.
And you can tell he's almost like, I don't know what to do, but I have no affection for you.
Yeah. Now
And
oh, say what you were going to say, and then I want to say what his conversation with the doctor before that.
yeah, well, I was going to say that. I was going to say he has this before she comes down the hallway. He
Right.
has this conversation with her doctor, and he specifically asks him, we haven't been sleeping in the same room. Do you think it's appropriate that we go back to sleeping in the same room?
Yes.
And the doctor's like, she's good, and you two can discuss it and you can come to your own conclusion.
But he sort of indicates that yeah, it would be good for her.
I think it would be good. She,
Yeah.
she's not really mentally broken. That's really the impression you get from this doctor.
Yes.
He doesn't see her as having a mental problem. And he's
Right.
like, she's really good. She's done well here. She's doing really well. And then, you can see the actor is really great. He has been an Oscar nominated actor.
Yeah, Dan
And
O'Hurley.
and he's really good at that, speaking zero dialogue, and you can tell he's almost in this place of, well, we'll see about that.
Yeah. The other thing that the doctor says is he asks Arnold, are her stepmother and stepsister still living
Oh,
in the
yes, he does
house?
ask that. Yes,
And he
right,
says, well, yes. And he goes, why do you ask that? And he says, well, I'm not sure it's good for her to go back into the
right,
same situation
right.
that brought her here.
Situation. And once again, you can see him go, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
He
Right.
just has zero response to it.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's interesting because when she does approach him and she's hugging him and she's in tears, he just kind of stands there. And then
Right.
there's an interesting thing that said as they're leaving, the nurse almost well says something about seeing you later.
Yeah.
And
Don't be a
and
stranger.
don't be a stranger. And Charlotte turns to her like, I am never, and she says it, I am never coming back here again.
Right. Yeah.
And the nurse is kind of like, like we'll see.
Yeah.
And
Well, maybe
even her husband
the
has
nurse
this
may have even thought, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
maybe,
Yeah.
but once again, a lot of unsaid things.
Yes.
So then it's interesting as they, get into the car and he not one word comes from him. How are you doing?
Right.
I've missed you. None of those
Right.
things. He just starts talking about his career and talking about what's
Yeah.
happening at the university. And then, as he said this about the border coming in and just jab, 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 she's just kind of looking out the window and you can
Yeah.
tell there's zero connection.
Right.
There
Now
is
the thing that's
absolutely zero connection.
goes, I do.
And he tells her the border's name and he goes, well, I'm not anti-Semitic.
That's what I was gonna say.
And
I was
she
gonna
goes,
say that.
and she kind of looks at him like,
Why do you have to
okay.
tell me that? Yeah.
Yeah. And she goes, okay.
Because his name is Jake Ephraim Zimbal's Jr. plays Jacob
Yeah.
Diamond.
Yeah. Jake Diamond.
And yeah, so we'll talk about that later because man, it's like white privilege, white privilege, white privilege,
Totally. Absolutely. And then he's like,
Right.
hey, it looks like we'll be home before dark. And then you get the title of the movie in there. And she says, oh, I was always told that as a child.
My mother always used
My
to say
mother
that.
used to always say that, and it always helped me feel so safe.
Yeah.
And
But
he was, and
then
then,
she
but
gets home.
what's so interesting is he kind of looks at her like, whatever.
No.
They pull up, he honks the horn. The stepsister, which is a really interesting thing to see Rhonda Fleming. The thing that surprised me was she opens door. She is platinum blonde.
Yeah.
Rhonda Fleming, if you don't know her, she is a natural redhead.
Right. Yeah.
And to have her be this platinum blonde, and then it's all this braided thing, it's very all tied up in a neat little hairdo,
Right.
nothing relaxed about her. So you get that impression. Great, great hairstyle, great
Yeah.
costuming, because she's all pinned up just right with her dress, the way she's dressed and everything, and
Yeah.
very controlled emotions. And when Charlotte gets out of the car, her stepsister is Joan, right? Joan
Yeah.
is like, oh, welcome home. And then you see that the stepmother is up above in the bedroom peeking out,
Yes.
immediately comes into a cold home,
Right.
emotionally shut off.
Yeah, and then the mother and the stepmother comes down and, oh, I've got to go to this thing and where are my gloves and where
Oh,
are the
not
keys? And
even welcoming her at all.
it's like this, oh, and we'll
Oh,
have dinner later. And I mean,
well,
she's like a tornado.
and
She's
they
like,
picked the perfect actress for it, by the
yeah,
way.
they did.
So, yeah, you see really no warm welcome. No one
Right.
hugs her.
Right.
And hey, we're so happy. No one says one word. And then
We're
the cook's
yeah,
name gets brought up and she's like, oh, I'm going to go say hello to her. And they're like, no, 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 you need to go to bed. The
right.
stepmother is like insistent that you must be tired. You have to be tired. I'm sure you're tired. You must go to bed. You must go to bed. You must go to bed. Well, I'm going
Right.
to go say hi to the cook first. And so she does. Another cold shoulder.
Right.
Well, 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 you're back.
Yeah.
And you go, and why did you want to go say hello to the cook?
I
She's
know.
horrid to her.
And that's how it is pretty much throughout the whole movie.
Yes.
Everybody in the town treats her like she's
Oh, like she's got some sort of
like she
disease or something.
right, yeah, except for Jake and her good friend Kathy.
Kathy. Yeah.
They're the
Well,
only two in the town
they're
that
the only
treat
two in the
her.
town, right? And that's what she starts to realize is, she goes up the stairs when she first gets home to go to bed, they're insistent she go take her nap, and then Jake comes out of the room that used to be hers, that she would
Yeah.
stay in.
I think this is
And
after she wakes up in the morning, she meets
but
him.
no, yeah, it could be. And she looks at him and he looks at her and she's like, well, basically, do you know what happened to me? And he's like, no, but I'm happy to be here. I mean, he's just
I'm
really
happy
nice
to
to
meet
her.
you.
I'm just
Yeah.
so happy to meet you. And she's like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah,
okay. And she goes upstairs and he's such a nice man,
he is.
and then of course, as you say, there's all this busy going on and busy, busy, busy. And oh, her husband's got this dinner to go to and this dinner party to go to, and he has
Right.
this meeting he has to go to. And who always goes with him? Joan.
Joan.
And
Yeah.
right away, they make it clear that Charlotte has been gone for a year.
Yes.
So, or at least the incident happened a year ago
Yeah.
that put her in this institution.
Yeah.
And they just talk around her.
I
She
know.
isn't, she exists zero to them.
Yeah, it's like she's not even in the room
Yeah, she
unless
doesn't
unless
even get acknowledged.
unless her stepmother Inez is forcing something on her,
Right,
forcing
right.
eggs or juice or
Oh,
whatever
don't
it
you drink
is.
that coffee with all that sugar? That's going to hurt your stomach.
I
You need to
know.
at least have
Yeah.
milk with it. I don't want
Now,
any milk.
I want to
You're
say
going to have
something.
it.
I want to say something about the music because
Oh, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
she's home for like a week or so, and she
Yeah.
gets up really early in the morning, and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning or something, and she goes down to the pier
Yeah.
where I think she has a friend who's like a lobsterman. He has lobster traps,
Yeah.
and but her friend isn't there. Jake is there because her friend is ill, and
Right.
so
So Jake's helping him. Yeah.
he's helping him out with his lobster business.
Yeah. And so, by the way,
And
this takes place in Boston, Massachusetts.
no, that town they live in is not Boston. It's outside of Boston, but it's in
Just outside, but
Massachusetts.
it still is in Massachusetts, and they're right on the coast
Right.
where all this
So
lobster stuff happens.
yeah, so they named the name of the town, but I can't remember what it
Yeah, I
is.
can't
It's
remember.
not a huge town.
No, oh no,
But
no.
but as she and Jake offers her some coffee, they go into the little shack. He gives her coffee, and she puts sugar in. She goes, "Did you know that sugar is really bad for your stomach on an empty stomach?" And he goes, "No, I didn't know that," because that's what
I know.
Inez.
I mean, and you really start to see when she's with him
Yeah.
how sane she really is.
Yeah, and he says, "I hear you walking, and your room is right above mine, and
Yeah,
and you have trouble sleeping." And he goes, "Oh," she says, "Oh, I didn't mean to keep you awake." And he goes, "Oh no, I have trouble sleeping too since the war."
since the war.
That's the
Yeah,
only indication we get
yeah.
that he has
He has been
demons
through something.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But what I wanted to mention was they have this long conversation
Oh
because
gosh, they
then they
do.
take the lobsters to the store and they're
Yeah.
walking along and one of the professors drives by and underneath the
Oh yeah.
last part is the music from Now
Now
Voyager.
Voyager. They
But it's
reweaved it.
very,
Yeah.
very, very subtle,
It
very
is very subtle. It's
quiet.
almost like you don't know it's there.
Yes, I
It's
never
so,
noticed it until
and
this
I
time.
think that's really great directing as well.
Mm-hmm.
To keep the
Mm-hmm.
music so low you almost don't know it's there, and you're feeling the environment of just the environment rather
Yeah.
than the music setting the environment.
Yeah.
And it's really
Yeah.
interesting because you can tell when she gets down to the pier and to the house, the little lobster house down there, it's pretty dark.
Yeah, it
And
is
by the
dark.
time they're all done, it's daylight. Obviously, cars are driving around. This one professor and his wife drive by her, and they just stare at her.
I know.
They're just like,
I
and
know.
she's just kind of like, okay, it's so odd how
Well,
rude people
I love
are.
part of that conversation is because Jake says nobody calls me by my name. They call me
Right.
there. hey there.
Hey there.
She says, well, if you aren't really a native of this town until you've lived here 3 generations, she said,
Right.
my mother has owned that house that we're living in for 2 generations, and I'm
Two
still a
generation.
newcomer.
And I'm still a newcomer. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, I love their conversation because it's
Well,
just
they
so
just have this
warm
very natural, he
connection.
never fails to acknowledge her.
Right.
And the other interesting thing that happens is she's sitting there and she's watching, and she and Joan have this conversation when Joan's like, "Oh, I gotta go type his papers and blah blah blah." And she's like, "You type for him?" She goes, "Oh, he has such a terrible time, and I'm the one who can help him."
I know.
She
Yeah.
always makes a point to say those things to
Right.
her. How much Joan is needed by Ernest. Oh, they're so needed.
Arnold. Yeah.
Arnold, excuse me,
Yeah.
Arnold. It's a
Yeah.
terrible name. But there is this really interesting moment where she has a flashback, and she remembers when
Yeah.
it's a night of the university dance, and
Yeah.
she's obviously a student there, and she's there dressed up beautifully. What happens is she's got the dark hair. She does this flashback,
Yeah.
and she looks like herself.
Right.
And then this one, I think he's a professor as well. Doesn't look like he's a student. The guy who's really in love with her.
Oh, I think he's a student too. Yeah.
And he's just
His
like,
name is
come on,
Hamilton.
Hamilton. Right. Very nice name. And he's like, "Oh, let's go get a drink." And she goes, "Hamilton, you drink too much." And
Right.
she goes, "No, I'm waiting for Arnold." And he goes, "You think that guy's interested in you?" She goes, "Oh, he's going to ask me to marry him tonight." And
Yeah,
he
but
goes, "How could you possibly know that?"
I want to say something about Hamilton right there in the flashback. He says, you're not acting like yourself.
No, he does say that. Right. He goes,
That's one of those
what are
little
you?" He's kind of
clues.
like, "Why are you acting like this? Why are
Yeah.
you doing this?" And she's
Hmm.
like, "Oh, come on, Hamilton. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, you're just so silly." And he's like, "I love you.
And
And
I
I
know
know
you.
this is not you."
Yeah.
And she brushes it off, and she gets the attention of Arnold when he walks into the room. And yes, eventually what happens is towards the end of the night, Arnold does propose to her. And he really says these very key things I think are important. You're outgoing,
Hmm.
you're refreshing, everybody knows who you are, and
Hmm.
I'm not like that. And
Hmm.
I need that you in my life for that. So
Right.
you get right there. They're marrying for all the wrong reasons.
Right. Yes. Because, well, it's only indicated right then. But I
Right.
love that flashback because we see Kathy. She's supportive of.
Oh, her friend Kathy is
I
delightful.
really like Kathy. I wish we
Yeah,
could
I do
see more
too.
of her,
And I think she kind of notices some things in Charlotte too,
but she doesn't.
but she doesn't say anything.
No, because she just wants to be supportive.
She just loves her. She just loves
Yeah.
Charlotte. Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that flashback is very interesting when you
And
get the
important.
and important. Right. So, as things move along and they're all ignoring her in the house and insisting that she go to bed early and insisting that she does this and never really asking her what she wants, not
Right.
once. They never
Right.
ask what she wants to eat for breakfast or lunch or dinner. It's always everything has already been taken care of. And
Ines is always taking care of
oh,
everything.
her stepmother is horrid. So
And
there's
her
there's
stepmother,
this
this is another thing. Talk about not keeping your word. Ina says, we'll go to
oh
Boston next week. Well, it's
right.
like 3 or 4 weeks
Oh yeah.
later
And
when
we're
she
not going to go
finally.
to we're not going to go to the local shopmaker. She's too expensive. But she
Right.
doesn't keep her promises. That is another very good point. But what I think is interesting too is Charlotte just up and decides, and she's like, "Well, they want me to have some clothes. I'm going to go to the local shop maker, the dressmaker."
Right.
And
Yeah.
she goes, and as she's trying to leave, she has to call her husband.
Arnold.
She has to call Arnold for
Because he's frozen her account.
approval, because
Yeah.
yes, that's where she
Well, he
realized,
hasn't frozen them. He has to
well,
co-sign.
he has to co-sign, right?
Yeah.
And then she's kind of starts to get a little suspicious. She's kind of like, what's going on with my
Yeah.
money?
And the woman, well, I can understand because she's a shopkeeper and she has to make sure she gets her money, but she
True.
also treats
Oh, she
Charlotte
treats her
not not good.
when Charlotte gets the permission, and he's like, yeah, but that kind of gives him a sense of pride too. I noticed that.
Yes. Yes.
He's like, oh, yeah, she has to get my permission to get a dress. And
Right.
so the shopkeeper is like, well, come back again. And she's like, and you can tell she's like, yeah, not likely. Because she doesn't want to be treated that way.
That's right.
So she gets this wonderful dress and then she wears it and she's like, and she goes into his office and she's like, so what do you think of my dress? And he's like, isn't it a bit much?
I know.
It's not appropriate right now. And she
Shouldn't
goes,
you
well,
wear a sweater and a
can't
skirt?
you wear a sweater and a skirt? Right.
Uh,
And she goes, well, I thought it was pretty. And he goes, well, I guess. And he's not looking at her. He's busying himself in his office and she's trying to have a conversation with him.
yeah.
It's like
Now,
the third or fourth time and he won't look at her.
yes. And this is when we find out too, or maybe it's before that, that he has been sleeping in his office. There's a
Oh,
bed in
yes, you
his
see the bed
office.
over there. Yeah, you see the bed in his
And
office.
I don't know if this is this is the time when they have the conversation, but at some point they have a conversation in his office and she says, Arnold, why don't you come up and sleep in our room again? And he says,
Yes.
the
This is
doctor
what I wanted to bring up
said
too. Right.
you should be sleeping by yourself. An
Yeah,
out
the
and out
doctor said it
lie.
wasn't right.
Arnold, don't sleep down here tonight. Come back to your own room. Come back to me. I've missed you so. Arnold, what is it?
Dr. Collins suggested you should stay alone. For a while, you need rest. Charlotte, don't forget that I'm a human being, too. It isn't easy for me to stay alone.
But I don't understand what Dr. Collins means. If I love you, how could love hurt me? Arnold, I'm frightened. If I'm walking around afraid that you don't love me anymore, that could hurt me.
Yeah, we want to do what's best for you. And this is another thing that's important. Every single time the three of them, the stepmother, the stepsister, and Arnold speak to her, it's condescending.
Yes, it
It is
is.
as if she's not smart enough to know better.
Or she's a child.
Yeah, they treat her very condescendingly. And she really obviously responds to that.
Right.
And then she's very confused. And Arnold's like, well, I've got to go. And
Right.
he just leaves her alone in the office to contemplate what he's just said. And
When she has the dress on, it's a day when nobody's in the house. He doesn't have any
oh,
classes.
yes, that's right.
And she wants to do something with him, but I've got to go meet so and so.
And she's like, can't we be alone? Can't we
I
be
know.
together? And he's like, no,
Yeah.
I don't have time for that.
Yeah, I
You know
know.
I have things to do. And that's the other thing too. Don't you know? They say those kind of things like that all the time. And she's just kind of like
I
she
know.
can't do anything right.
Right, exactly.
Everything she says and does is wrong. No matter
So,
what it is, it's wrong.
yeah. So, there's another little, I can't remember exactly when this happened, but she has another little breakdown kind of a thing. And
Yeah,
they
she
put
does.
her in Jake's room. And she keeps looking at his room, and we find out that that's where they put her when she was sick before,
Yeah.
which we find out more about how Inez
Well,
and
this is what
Joan has
happened.
the flu, and they put her in that room. That's when
Oh,
Inez and Joan come to live at the house.
that's right. That's right.
Okay,
That's when
say
things
what you
really
were going
start
to
to
say.
fall apart. That is so true. Because they were just the two of them before. And then he
Right.
invites them to come.
Right.
And I think that's when all hell broke loose.
Oh, yes.
So they were at that reading, the lady who's reading in front of the fireplace.
Yeah.
This horrible thing. Oh my God.
About Johnny
about
Appleseed.
Johnny Appleseed. And
she's
and and Charlotte and her friend, Charlotte looks over at her friend and her friend goes, I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Kathy's like, I want to talk to you later. And Charlotte's like, okay. So the reading is done and everyone's like, oh, wasn't it wonderful? And Ephraim, Jake going, and she looks over, Charlotte looks over at him and he's like, oh my gosh, it's hysterical.
Yeah.
And Kathy's like,
I know.
oh my
I
God.
know.
So she and Kathy have a quick little thing in the library in
Yes.
Arnold's office.
Right.
And she proceeds to tell her that she and her husband are splitting up because he's been having an affair.
Right.
And she goes, "What?" And she's trying to talk to her, and then isn't it Joan that comes in and
Yes.
interrupts them? And she's like, "Please come to my house another time. We really need to talk." And she's like, "Okay, I'll do that."
Yeah.
Well, then that's when she goes to Kathy's house, and Kathy is proceeding to tell her about how she found out about he was in love, her husband Joe was in love with another woman, and how obvious it was.
Yeah.
And then Kathy says, don't you know that Arnold and Joan are in love?
Well, she asks her, "How did
And
you
she
find
asks her,
out?
"How
How
did
did
you find out?" And she's like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about? They assured me that I was seeing things."
Right.
And then she starts to tell her how other things started to take place that were all in her
Oh, right.
imagination.
Yeah.
And then Kathy goes, "Oh well, um, everybody sees it.
Yeah.
Everyone sees it."
Yeah.
And that's when she has that. She's like, "Okay, I gotta go. I need to go now." And Kathy's like, okay, like, oh boy, I think I just said something I shouldn't have said, but she doesn't know what to
Yeah.
do about it.
Right. Yeah.
Walk I'm gonna go walk to see Arnold at the university. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, that's 5 miles."
I know.
And she's just wearing, she's not even wearing snow boots because it's in the dead of winter.
Right.
We're heading towards the holidays.
Yeah. In fact, I think it's October when she gets out of the hospital and it's already snowing.
It's
It's
already
already been
snowing, right?
snowing.
So she's like, "No, I can do it. I like the long walk."
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see, as she's approaching the university, she's a little wobbly on her feet, and obviously, because it's been a 5 mile walk. And then she approaches his office and goes in, and he's having this round table meeting. Jake, yeah, and two other professors are sitting there, both very nice men. By the way, they treat her nicely too.
Yeah.
They don't treat her like she's some sort of kook.
Right.
And of course Arnold is like, and her hair is all mussed up, and her stockings are torn, and she walks out of the room and he follows her and he's like, "What has happened to you?" And she's
Right.
like, "I don't know. I just need to go." And so she takes off, and then she's walking down the road, and Arnold and Jake are follow her in the car and get her.
Yeah.
And
And that's
Arnold
when she's in the room
That's when
that
she ends up in that
she
room
has this
because
stigma about Jake's room.
yes, she does. Well, and then she's questioning her sanity again because
Right.
of her friend going, "Oh, you didn't know?"
Yeah.
Because they all control it. They control keep the three of them control keeping her in that house
Right.
so that she has no outside exposure to a very conversation just like that.
Right. Well, and this
And
is the other thing that you find out is when the doctor's there, he's checking her memory to
right,
see, and he
right. I
asks
love
her
that
how
thing.
old she is, and she
She's
says
26.
26.
26
And
years old. And
and
you're
he's
like,
probably in his 30s, 35 or
yeah. And
36.
and she gives her name, address, because he's wanting to make sure she's
Yeah.
and then the doctor starts to go and he's like, I think she's okay. And the doctor starts to go and Arnold kind of gives him this look. Oh, the doctor goes, "Oh, I forgot to give you your shot, your sedative." And she goes, "Are you sure I'm the one that's unstable, doctor? Maybe
Yeah.
you are the one that's not
Yeah.
doing well."
Yeah.
And there's this little look
And
exchange that happens between Arnold and the doctor, and she just is like, "Fine, just give
yeah,
me the
and
shot."
I think this is when Jake starts to see the
Oh, because
family.
he's watching the whole thing.
Well, he's been watching it, but
Yeah,
this time
yeah,
it's
he
like
sees it.
he
Yep.
sees what's been going on.
Well, and then there's that one night where they're all sitting around the dinner table,
Oh yeah.
and she's not acknowledged at the end of the
At
table at
all.
all. They're all just talking around her and barely even talking to Jake, and
Right.
he's just kind of watching. He's
Yeah.
watching the whole process like, hmm. And then that happens, and then you can see the light bulb really go off.
Yeah.
Like, I think I see what's going on here.
Yeah.
So
Now,
then,
I I do want to say something because it's after that, I think, that she has dressed up in this nice negligee. She's gone down to the office.
Yes.
She's
Yes.
asleep in
Yeah.
Arnold's bed,
Arnold's, yeah.
and
Yeah.
Jake has said to Arnold, "I need this book back. I need my book back because I need it for a lecture." And he goes,
Right.
"Oh, it's on my desk." Well, so Jake goes in and gets the book, and then he notices that she's asleep. Well, so he's
And they're on the rest of them are gone because they have another dinner thing to go to.
right, and he's putting the uh blanket up on her because it's kind of chilly, and she takes a hold of his hand and she doesn't even open her eyes, but she pulls him down and kisses him. And well, they kiss each other because he does not pull away from her. And I think it came to me in a flash because that same night Arnold goes up to the room and she pulls him down for a kiss, but he pulls away. So the reaction on her face for both kisses is when she sees that it's Jake and he says, "I'm sorry, I knew you thought I was
I
Arnold."
took advantage. I took
But
advantage.
the look on her face is like, "I felt something."
Well, and that's what it's like to be kissed back.
Right.
That's
And
the
then
thing that happened to me too. Yeah.
and then when Arnold kisses her and he pulls away, the look on her face is worry. It's like he doesn't love me.
Well,
It's
and he gets this drink and he tells Joan, "I'm gonna go up to the bedroom and go see Charlotte. Here, have a little bit of this sip." And she's kind of like,
she
because
doesn't even
the other impression you get from this, she's not a drinker.
know.
She never talks about taking, she smokes a lot, but
Yeah.
she does not drink. But you can
Mhm.
tell she's looking at him like, "Why would you give me this drink? I don't drink."
Mhm.
And then she pulls him in to try to kiss, and he's just like, "Well, it's best if I go now."
Yeah, I mean he kisses her, but
Right.
he doesn't let it last very long before he
No,
pulls
no,
away
no.
from
He does
her.
not want to kiss her.
And
So then you kind
yeah.
of start seeing some things shift in her, I think.
Yeah.
And then some things start to happen. And then she and finally the stepmother takes her shopping in
Yes.
Boston for
Right.
all the right clothes.
And her Inez is
"I
going to
gotta
meet
meet
her.
my friend. I have to meet my friend. We're
And
gonna
when
meet
her
my
friend
friend for
comes,
lunch."
she's exactly the same way.
Oh, no kidding. "Oh my gosh, I have to go to the bank and tell the man who's my finance advisor that I was supposed to meet him at lunch, but I have to make an excuse."
Yeah,
Well, they
right.
get to
Yeah.
the bank and it's Hamilton.
Right.
Hamilton's her finance advisor. And he's like, "Oh my gosh." And he's
Yeah.
beyond thrilled to see her. Focuses on no one else but
Right.
Charlotte.
Right.
And he's like, "You ladies go to lunch. Charlotte and I will go to our own lunch."
Yeah. Well, I
Like,
love when she says, I'll meet you at 4 o'clock at the train," and Inez says, "But what if you don't get
right.
the Inez, the train is on tracks."
"I won't get lost."
I know.
And you can see Hamilton kind of going, I
What
mean,
the
he's
hell?
watching the whole exchange too.
Oh yeah.
He's very aware of what the, and he's like looking at her hair going, "What happened to your hair?" And
I
so,
know.
but he doesn't say anything. They get to lunch. She's having a lunch. He's having a liquid lunch.
Right.
And they
He
proceed
hasn't
to
even
talk.
taken a bite of his
No,
sandwich.
he's
It's
got
on
a
his plate.
sandwich. And she goes, "Were you going to have a sandwich, with your drinks,
Yeah.
And he's like, "You know what? Let's get out of here." But she is sharing with him what has
Right.
happened, her journey and going
Yeah.
and having this breakdown and how she had a violent incident with Joan. And
Yeah.
and he's kind of like,
Yeah.
you can see suspicion in his face. Like
Right.
something doesn't seem right.
Well, and that's when we find out how Inez and Joan showed up because she had the flu and she couldn't get well,
Right.
and
That's
and
exactly
he
where. Right.
couldn't. Her husband couldn't take care of her. So yeah,
Right.
and so
Right.
but that's so interesting though because when they're talking, she finds out that he and his wife are getting a divorce, and
Well,
this
he
is
invites
what
her back to his apartment. He
yeah
goes,
in
"Let's
the
go back to
apartment.
my place." And
Oh,
you
I
can
thought you
see
said that already. Right,
no, and you can see he has got money.
right,
He's a
and
banker. He's
so
got money.
one of the things when he's talking about the marriage, he says, "I was lonely with Edith."
with Edith. Yeah.
So it's like, even though they're getting divorced, it's like he's still lonely. And I think
Yeah.
that's another one of those little
Oh,
clues
she has a little
for
clip.
her.
I totally agree. And she's like, lonely, because and he says, yeah, well, we were married for 2 years, and well, she didn't really like me either, and she found the love of her life,
Right.
and he goes, but I do like what he said at lunch before they left. He says, you have your way of dealing with your hard emotions, and I have mine.
Right.
And he
But
looks
he
at his drink.
also, he's the one that suggests she go to a
Oh, he's so
psychiatrist.
wonderful. But and this is another important scene. This movie is so female strong
Yeah.
because he's here, he is drunk,
Right.
and he grabs her and she throws her arms around him, and he says, I still love you, Charlotte. I'm in love with you. I've always loved you.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, wait a minute. And she's like, get my coat, I've got to go. And he's like, and he doesn't push it. That's what I love
I
about it.
know.
He goes, okay, I'll get your coat.
Yeah.
But no, and he says it again, I've always loved you. I've always loved you. So he too sees her. And
Yes.
and that's another one of those, wait a minute, what? He goes, and I think he even says something, I just think you need affection.
Yeah.
And she's just
And
like, ugh.
she does say, I think it's, she says something like, I wish I felt that way about
I
you.
wish I felt that way. She does say that. That's very true.
But
And
she
then she
can't feel that
goes.
way because we find out that her father was a drinker
Yes,
after
yes,
her mother
yes,
died when she was
yes.
8.
Yep. Her father was a drunk. And that's a key important point too. That's
Yeah.
really important when you find out the tragedy and how her father just kind of mindlessly married
Inez.
Inez, and then they come into her life and they weren't great. I mean, it's that typical fairy tale, the wicked stepmother and the wicked stepsister. I mean, that really
Yeah.
is the trope that's going on there.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting is you see another clicking and getting a clue. She starts to get this clue. And then she goes to Arnold and says, I would like you and I to go away for
For
Christmas. I
Christmas.
would like to be alone with you. And he reluctantly agrees. And he's like, okay, fine, we'll go. And she's just kind of like, well, I love what happens this whole thing because this is another one of those
Yes.
amazing directing where
Yes.
you can't tell if she's going over the deep end or if she's doing this unusual behavior where she goes mass shopping because he's at these meetings and he's meeting up with a would-be
Harvard.
colleague from Harvard.
Harvard. I think they
Yeah.
knew each other in college or
It
something.
sounds like it. And he's got a wife but he's not there and he's talking to his friend and he's talking to his friend and then the wife comes in and she's like,
Yes.
"Oh, where's your wife? And he lies to them. Well, Charlotte's not feeling well. She
Yes.
probably will not be, you know, meeting with us this trip. And she's out shopping. So then
Yeah.
they show her shopping and she's kind of like manic shopping and she goes, I want this and I want this. And they're like, so where do you want these things sent?
And she
And she
sends them off
sends
to
it.
the mental.
She goes, I want them at this. And they're like, you want it at this hospital? Yes, I want those things sent to the hospital. And they're like, okay. And then she has another bunch of boxes of stuff. And then she's walking down the street and she looks up and she sees that gold dress on the mannequin.
Yes. Yes.
And she immediately walks in and I want that gold dress. And they're like, well, ma'am, we don't have your size. That's a size 14. And I'm pretty sure you're a size 8. Oh, no, my size has changed. I want that dress. So you're thinking she's having this kind of meltdown. And then
Well, and the music sort of indicates it too.
yes, it does. And then it's really interesting because she puts the dress on. They're like, it's just way too large for you. No, it's what I want. This is what I
Well,
want.
and then she sort of says, I'm giving it to my sister.
Yeah, this is where I think she's not gone gray. She sees the hairdresser. She sees his name and she goes, I want to see, and I can't remember the hairdresser's name
Yeah.
at the salon. And they're like, okay. And then you can see him going, I think we need to get your hair back to the natural color. And she's like, oh no, my husband likes me blonde. And then she shows him a picture of Joan with the hair, with the braid, and he's like, okay,
Yeah.
if
This
that's
is
what you
because
really want.
he describes this is what I would do with your hair. And it's exactly the way she looked the night
Exactly the way.
Arnold
Part it down the middle, let it go natural.
when
And no,
Arnold
no, no, no.
proposed. That's
So
what
you
it
can't,
looked like.
right. So you're like, is she purposely trying to make herself look like Joan because she's gotten a little something going on? Is she having another mental breakdown?
Well, I think that she does because of the way she comes into the dinner at Christmas Eve and her dress has fallen off and then when they take
Well,
her
she's got the
upstairs,
gold dress on and she's got too much makeup on.
right, but then when they take her upstairs and she's sitting on the bed and his friends are there, she says, "Arnold, tell me what happened. Tell me what happened. I want to know. I want to know." And they, I think that they want to be supportive of Arnold and
Right.
her, but
Right.
they don't know her, so
Right.
they leave. And finally, that's when they're at the Christmas after that dinner, she
Well, it's
finally
no,
gets him to
there's
tell she finally gets him to tell her the
yeah.
truth about whether or
Well,
not
she
he
sees
loves
him
her.
crying, remember? After the friends leave, she
Oh
sees him crying.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then I like this conversation too before they head back home. She says, Arnold, I want you to tell me, do you
Tell
love
me.
me? You need to tell me how you really feel.
Right.
And she goes, are you in love with Joan? Do you really love me? And, and it takes several times. And he goes, I don't love you. And that's when I see it as a release because she just
Yes.
cries. She just
Yes.
begins to cry. And
Because
she,
now she
oh,
knows that her
yes,
delusions were not
none of those
delusions.
things, she wasn't crazy.
It wasn't crazy.
There was
Yeah.
always this underlying something that she knew was there, but they wouldn't admit to her.
Right.
So that I think is a breakthrough for her as well.
Yes. And then when they get back home, she gives the gold dress and the gold shoes to
Oh,
Joan,
that's a good one too. Yep.
which Joan is, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. To me, it's a gaudy dress.
And then she goes, why don't you go show Arnold? And she goes, oh, I will. I am going to go show him. So she goes into his den and she goes, and he stands up and he's like, because he knows what.
Where the dress came from.
Arnold, why don't you tell her how beautiful she is?
Yeah.
And he goes, yes, you look beautiful. And she's like, and she just slowly walks out of the room. And I love that scene because she's like confirming things for herself again.
Yes.
And then you begin to realize as the rest of the film plays out, she ends up having another really important conversation with.
Anyway, I found a job in New York
Oh, good for you. What?
with a magazine. I think I might like it.
I think you will. I'm happy for you.
You want to come to New York with me?
Don't you know the last thing in the world you need at this point is me? I've been through something terrible. I'm holding on by sheer will. I'm awfully afraid I won't make it.
You'll make it.
There's a favor you can do if you're feeling gallant. Come to the New Year's dance with me. I promised to go and I could use moral support.
All right, I'll go.
And she starts to tell him things that she's begun to realize and she invites him to go to this Christmas dance.
No, it's a New Year's Eve dance.
Oh yeah, New Year's Eve dance. Wrong order. But she's doing a process.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake was like, whatever. So he found his own path, obviously.
Right.
Don't want to be a professor. Not really what I want to do. Asks her to go. She says she's not ready. She goes, but I do need to go do something for myself.
Right.
And that's when she goes back to the hairdresser and gets her natural hair color back and her hairstyle.
And
So
she
when
buys this beautiful dress, too.
oh, she looks gorgeous. Gene Simmons is stunning. So when they show them at the dance, she and Jake are dancing, and Arnold approaches her at one point. He's like, I think we need to dance together so it looks better.
Oh,
Oh,
because
that's the
we
other part
know,
we forgot. That's the other
yeah,
part we forgot. When they're heading back from New York on the train,
from
he says,
Boston.
from he says, thank you so much. Oh yeah, from the city. He says, thank you so much for coming up with the agreement.
Yeah,
And she's to wait. She's supposed to leave, wait for a month, and then get him the divorce papers
right.
so that it all looks good for the university.
So he
It's
can get
all
his
about him.
promotion.
And then I love it because they go to the dance. Her, Arnold's like, we should dance. It will look better to everybody.
They dance
They
for a little bit.
dance.
She
She hates
hates
it.
it and she
He
leaves.
takes her and she walks out and she's like, basically, just go to hell.
Come on,
And
Jake,
he's
let's
like,
go.
and come on, Jake, we're getting out of here. And he's just like, and Joan's like, oh no. Because you see Joan, she's all circling the room and dancing with the professors and in her gold dress. And she just, and you can see her looking at them like, how did I think I was wrong? Oh, she marches herself when they get back home after the dance.
Right.
And
This is
Arnold,
the one I do want to say something
Arnold,
about. Hold it. When she and Jake drive up to the house,
oh yeah, that's a good one too.
it's the one time she actually almost initiates a kiss with him. They have a
Yes.
kiss again. It's a real kiss this time.
Right, right.
And then now he says to her, if you need me,
Yeah.
so she's
I'll
got
come
two
get you.
people. If
Right.
you need me, let me
Two
know.
key people that
Yeah.
they're there for her.
Yeah.
And they're men who are compassionate and kind.
Yes.
That's the
Right.
other important thing about this movie. Not all men are cads.
Right.
And that's what I love about it too, is they see her and they're there for her.
Right.
And I think she even knows her friend Kathy will always be there for her.
Right.
So that's when she really makes this choice, at the dance when she tells Arnold to go to hell. She doesn't give a crap anymore. And
I
then she
know.
goes home and then she marches down to the cook's office and she pounds on the door. Get up now. What do you want? You're fired. I hired you. I'm firing you. Chair, and she waits for the three of them to come home. The stepmother, Joan, Arnold, and they're just blah 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 blah.
Well, they actually Joan.
Oh yeah, Joan goes, oh, you frightened me. But then
Yeah.
she doesn't care.
Right.
So tell what happens.
This is when we find out. I'm not going to tell all the details, but this is when we find out all the details about what
Yep.
she's put together in her mind. And
Yep.
it all comes down to from the time Inez and Joan showed
Yeah.
up. When Inez married her dad, she did not feel loved. Actually, she probably didn't even feel loved right after her mother died, because her father,
because her father was an alcoholic.
he didn't pay attention to her. And so she was 8 years old, we find out, when her mother died. And from 8 years old, she didn't feel loved. And so she acted out the way she thought she was supposed to act out to get love.
Right. Well, and I think there's one key thing that I think is really important. She asks Arnold,
oh, yes.
why didn't you send me to a better institution?
Right.
And he can't answer her.
Right.
Well, you were taken care of just fine. I want to know why. Well, do you think I took all your money?
Right.
And she's like, that's not the point. I want to know why you didn't get me better care.
Right.
And then when she asks that, it hit me. They wanted her declared insane so they could have all the money, take all control of everything. Because he had her sign this. Why did you have me sign that release form when you put me in the institution? And he's just like,
Well, and that's when we also find out she's got the money. It's her house.
All her money.
And
and there's other houses.
Yeah. Well, the other houses got sold. Yeah. And so she's got all the money, not only what she inherited, but she's got the money from the other two houses.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And that's when she said, I don't want to blame you or, she points at all three. I don't want to blame you or you. She goes, or myself. She says, I realize I've just never known love.
Right.
I've never known love.
But I do think it's important and interesting that she says to Joan, I thought I loved you, but I think I hate you.
I don't love you. I hate. And Joan's like,
Right.
because I think Joan did this whole, this gaslighting all three of them would do for her and to her. And they were so sleight of hand about it that she didn't feel good enough about herself to recognize it.
Yeah.
That
Well,
she
how
bought
could she be
everything they fed her.
how could she be secure in herself when she didn't have the love she needed after 8
Right.
years old?
Right. At
She
8 years
couldn't.
old. I
She
mean,
couldn't be
the
secure in herself.
formative years of her life.
Yeah.
And when she says that, and how this movie is her story of self-discovery.
Yes. Yes.
And then she goes upstairs in the middle of it, and then later on, she's making this phone call to Jake and says, "Come get me."
And then she makes the phone call to Hamilton and says, I want to go see your therapist.
And he's like, okay, okay, I will get you that
Oh,
information.
and get me a home, someplace
And
to
get me
stay.
someplace to stay. And he's like, I'll do it. I'll do it. And he's like, anything you need. She
Right.
figures out where love is. What I think is really important too is that she figures out that Hamilton, that he's drinking because he's hurting.
Yes.
And that's an important lesson for her too.
Yeah. So we don't know if she ends up with Jake or, I mean, he seems more stable than Hamilton, but
No, I think she ends up with Jake because they kiss when she gets in the car.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They kiss again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, but she wants to be more healed before she
Oh, yeah.
starts,
Oh,
which
and
is
that's
so
another thing.
smart.
They see she's leaving the house
Yeah.
and she says, I want you, Inez,
And
house
Joan,
by the time I come back.
yeah,
I'm closing up the house. You all need to just leave.
right.
This is my house, my choice. And he's just kind of like, okay.
At the end of the semester, you got to be out.
You gotta go.
Yeah. And she probably never going back to that town again.
Oh, I think she's gonna sell the house because she
Oh,
said she was
yeah.
gonna close it up.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, she's gonna sell it. Because what I mean, there's no good memories for her.
Yeah. I think they filmed that at Marblehead, that town.
I think they did. Marblehead. That's right. Marblehead.
I could, but
So,
that's not that's not the name they give it in the movie.
right. But I think that's where it's filmed is in Marblehead. But important part about this movie is it's not action. It's just this slow, meticulous study, really, of her. And
Right.
I think it's a lesson in life for everyone to recognize when the energy, the unsaid words of what love sounds like and looks like.
Right. And the freedom that you get when you find
Yeah.
out the truth.
Right.
I'm just thinking of something else that's really interesting about this movie. It's snowing almost the whole
Almost the entire time. Right. That's true. Right.
It's
Right.
cold.
It's cold, which is a metaphor for the three of them because
Yeah.
they are as cold as ice. The important point is any good story, love is all that matters.
Yes. Yeah, and I think it's quite advanced of her to say, whose
Oh,
fault is it? Is it your fault?
right.
Is it your fault? Is it
Right.
my fault? No.
Right.
Who
Right.
cares whose fault it is?
Right. Right.
I
It's
figured
very,
out
very
that
emotionally mature. And she was Golden Globe nominated for this part. Quite
and
frankly,
so was Ephraim Zimbalist
yes,
Jr.
he
was
was,
too.
which I love Ephraim Zimbalist. I love him in this movie. And I'm so grateful that a man directed it and he directed such a strong woman
Yeah. And
in
she's
such a
her
beautiful way.
oh yeah. I mean, he has these gorgeous
Oh, yes.
close-ups of her face,
Yes.
and her face tells the whole
Oh, yeah.
story.
Well, and
Well,
nothing's
and
right.
the other thing is almost for most of the movie, or at least most of the first part of the movie, she's always wearing her nightgown and her robe. She's not wearing
Always.
regular clothes.
Right. Right. Well, because it's almost like they always hint at, do you really want to go out?
I
Do you
know.
really want to go to this party? Do you really want to go to this meeting?
Yeah.
It's all, but without saying those words, of course.
Right.
And then she's like, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
You don't really want me there.
Yeah.
So, for mental health movie, what I think this really tells you is be careful who you surround yourself with.
Yeah. Well, at
Find
8
your
years old,
people
she
that
didn't have a
support.
choice.
Well, what I'm saying is she figured it out.
She figures out
And she got
who
herself
supports her.
right.
Yeah.
I love how she just really, when they show her, once again, the hairstyle, getting back to her hairstyle, her hair color, and when she's sitting there ready to confront them, the
When she,
camera shot, the beauty in the camera shot around her face and the clarity in her
yes.
eyes
Yes.
is absolutely stunning.
Yes.
It's stunning.
I
Once
mean,
again, perfectly filmed. The
yeah.
pacing of the film, the pacing of the conversation,
Right.
the pacing of just the environment that they create within the house.
Right. And if it weren't for Jake being there, she might have had to
Oh,
go
he
back.
he helped break the ice.
Oh my God,
He
really?
was the game changer in the energy of that house.
Yes.
He absolutely was the game changer. And the thing is, you and I always talk about these intangibles. And when they're sitting around the table, when other little conversations are happening where Jake is there, he's always right next to her.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
he's
if they
always
and if
looking
they
right
say
at her.
something against her, he's on her side.
Yeah, he says something to be on her side.
Yeah.
So those are the things that makes this great storytelling.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I highly recommend this because I think we all need to learn and deserve to know what our inner strength is
Yes.
and that we're not alone.
Right.
We don't
I
have to be alone.
yeah.
Right. So, the whole thing about this movie is you don't have to really be emotionally prepared, but maybe you do have to be because there's some heavy hitting moments
Yeah.
that really can affect you if you're not ready
Mm-hmm.
for it.
Yeah.
And those are the scenes that happen within the city where she buys everything and she gets the dress and she overdoes her makeup and shows up at the dinner at the
At the
restaurant,
hotel.
the
Yeah.
restaurant hotel, and she kind of
Yeah.
makes a fool out of herself.
Yeah.
And it does make you question, does she have a breakdown or does she do it on purpose to learn something?
Yeah.
But none of that matters because what matters is the end result that she has starting to really figure things out
Yeah.
and that she has chosen therapy, healthy therapy,
Yeah.
and that she knows she can move forward.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and we all
Basically,
deserve
she
that.
healed herself,
Oh
except that,
my gosh.
there are probably all kinds of
Yeah,
things that she needs to work out. But
sure.
basically, she heals herself by the end of
Yeah.
the movie.
She has to, she has to. Well, and in the long run, we're the ones that have to do the work.
Oh, yeah.
No one can do it for us.
Which is kind
We
of what
have
we see
to.
through the movie is
Right.
her asking these questions, trying to
Right.
figure it out.
Right.
Yeah. Well, she's so starved for love that
Oh, yes.
once she gets that
Yeah.
support and that love,
Right.
it's like, oh, that's what I've been looking for.
Right.
I've been looking for that. And
That's the
Arnold
feeling.
never gave
That's
it.
the feeling I never knew I was missing.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's what I kind of saw on her face when Jake kissed her or when she pulls Jake
That's
down.
the way I felt too. Yeah.
Yeah. The look on her face was
Yeah.
like, I
And so
actually
she had
felt
to test it out
something.
later with Arnold. Right.
Yes.
Right.
Right. Because Arnold, I don't think Arnold was gonna kiss her, but he does kind of look at her in a weird way. And then she pulls
Yeah.
him down and he like, okay, I'll kiss you.
I'll kiss
But
you, but it's so different.
because almost immediately he pulls away to marry him. But also, I don't think Joan fell in love with Arnold until they came to live in the house
Oh
and
no,
take
I
care
think
of
that's when it all
Charlotte.
started to play out too. Yes, I agree
Yeah,
with that.
and she was silent about it.
But remember
E-
what Kathy said. Basically, everyone else sees it too.
Yeah, but
And that was a
that's
huge, huge
yeah. But the
confirmation.
other thing about that is that at the end, Charlotte, and this where I think you got the idea that they were just sort of hoping that they could declare her insane.
Oh yeah.
Is she says Joan, all you had to do was wait. Oh yeah, and she doesn't say wait for me to go insane, wait for me
Right.
to
That's true. She
get
does say that,
divorced
right?
from. All you had to do was wait and wait for him to realize that he was in love with you,
Yeah,
and
right.
uh, yeah, and that's basically what she did. She
Well,
just,
I mean,
yeah,
so who cares? Now she doesn't have to think about it anymore. She has kicked them out. She's going to go heal and she's going to live her best life. And that is
yes,
an important point. And that's
yes,
an amazing point, especially these two movies, now Voyager, this, to live the life that keeps you feeling whole.
that's right. Yeah, and I think it's so interesting that they're both named Charlotte.
I know, I thought so too. I was like, her name's Charlotte.
Well, the other thing about this movie is it plays out different. I mean, the events are different than in Now Voyager,
Yeah,
and we don't see her being there for anybody else yet,
right.
but we see that she's put the puzzle pieces into place, which that's
Yeah.
so interesting that Joan's always doing a puzzle. And Charlotte
Oh,
says,
oh
I'm
yeah.
not good
And
at
Charlotte's like, "Oh,
puzzles.
I'm not good at puzzles." Yeah.
But then she puts all the puzzle pieces about what they've been
Right.
doing.
All these little metaphors that are in the movie. You got to pay
Yeah,
attention.
right. And but she is going to go do something with her life that I don't think is
Right.
going to be
Right.
all about her. I think it's going to
No,
be about
right. I
other
think
people.
she wants to be of service and
Yeah.
be a helper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
She
and that's the other thing about this movie. We don't know right off the bat. We know Inez, but we don't really know about Joan how she feels about Charlotte at first, really.
No,
So
she's just playing the loving stepsister because that's
yeah,
what her role is. And that's the one thing you do get about Joan right away is she's real firm in where her roles are.
yeah,
And she's this chameleon that that compartmentalizes her role with Charlotte, her role
roll with Arnold.
Arnold, and being at these gatherings and being that oh and you
You
know
know, I
and,
do
oh,
think this about Joan. I think Joan is an extrovert. That's
oh yeah,
her
she is an
personality
extrovert.
type.
Yeah,
And Charlotte is an introvert and but she thinks she has to be an extrovert to get love.
right, right.
So she's going against her personality type. That's part of
Well,
her.
I mean, and it's I mean, I think everybody's done it a little bit,
Oh yeah.
a little bit of pretense to try to figure out where you fit in the world,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So to be this person that knows yourself has
Yeah.
not been around for very long.
Yeah.
To know exactly what and who you are. An introvert has never been one of those things that's supposed to be super accepted.
Yeah.
Being this very much an introvert. And what's the matter with you? Why can't you go out and do blah blah blah?
Right.
And it's almost been a shame thing.
Right.
And I think that we are definitely reaching way beyond that.
Oh
That it's
yeah.
okay to have an introvert and sometimes you're an extrovert and oh you're always an introvert and not ever an extrovert. I mean,
And it's a
what we're
spectrum.
this whole spectrum thing is really
Yeah.
opened up so much.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate these movies that we've talked about now, Voyager, and other ones too, for that matter, where that's why I think a lot of people do get attracted to acting
Yeah.
and these roles because it allows you to show the spectrum without being shamed.
Well, and also you get to try out
Get to try it
different
all out.
personalities. I
Right.
mean,
I
I
think it's
was an actor,
wonderful.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I know. You get
Yeah.
to, yeah,
And I believe the arts, not just theater, not just movies, the arts are what really truly tells us the truth and sets us free.
yeah,
And in a big way, it has taken us many, many decades to accept that
yeah.
art is the healing. It's a
Well,
healing source.
yeah, and it's also the arts and humanities, I'm going to say too, because
Humanities,
if
right,
you
say it.
do history education right, you're looking at, oh, these are the
Right.
decisions that people make, and this was the outcome.
Yeah.
And was it a good outcome or not a
Yeah.
good outcome? And the emotional intelligence and the critical thinking from the arts and humanities.
Right, right.
We need those.
Oh, we've been hungry for it, you know? And that's what I think is key about this film is, you know, art is been at the forefront of not afraid to tell these stories.
Right. Not
Art,
afraid to tell the
they're
hard
approaching it,
stories.
they're taking the deep dive.
Yeah.
They're not only approaching it, they're telling it.
Yeah. And they're
And
showing it.
and they're totally showing it. They're all in, man. It's all
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
And that's why I think you and I love film so much, and the arts, quite frankly, just period.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is because the deep dive. It's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
And they're healing. It can be healing to
Yes.
watch these films.
Yeah.
Whether it be a drama, whether it be a comedy, all of it tells layers.
Right.
And it totally, without shoving it down your throat, tells you. It just
Yeah.
tells you everything.
Well, and we get to experience the emotions at a kind of a safe distance.
That's very true without us being involved in it.
We don't have our
Right.
visceral emotions are not at the top of the surface.
Right.
But we recognize what
Right.
they're
And
what the characters are going through.
if they happen to, and if you're in a safe place in your home watching it,
Right.
you're safe.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
So, you know, that is the beauty of the arts and the films.
Yep.
And the gift they give us.
Yeah.
It's a gift that keeps on giving
Yeah.
because it's on film. We can keep watching these and get something new from it
Every
because
time.
I got something completely new out of this.
Yeah.
When I watched it, I'm like, mind blown.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I see it
yeah.
so differently.
I
Oh
never
my gosh.
Yeah, I never like the kiss thing. The
Oh,
kissing
yeah,
thing.
right,
I
right.
never realized that that was one
Right.
of the wake up calls.
Yes,
The
yes.
difference between Jake's
Well,
kiss and Arnold's kiss.
And the thing that's really beautiful about, and I always make sure I tell this to people, is life is happening for you,
Right.
not against you.
Right.
It is there for you.
Right.
And I think we all need to remind ourselves of that why is this happening to me? It's not necessarily a real thing. It's, well, how can it teach you? What can
Right.
it teach you?
Right.
You know, what can
Right.
it teach you? And where am I going to move forward with this?
Right. Yeah. And her not giving up on asking the questions.
Right. Right.
That's
Oh my God,
so
you're right.
vital.
She didn't give up asking the questions.
She just kept
Oh
asking.
my gosh. And you see her internal
Yeah.
thing happening.
Yeah, because everything's on her face.
Right. And she drove away with Jake in that car clear.
Yeah.
She now knows I'm not crazy, but I now know I need some real deep dive therapy so I can
Yeah.
heal from all this.
Right.
You know, and just her childhood too, for that matter.
And I don't need to go back to that town.
Right. I wouldn't want to be in that town either. She's right. At every little gathering that she did go to, you could see people like kind of skirting around her, like,
I know.
Hi, like, am I a leper?
I know.
And that's what she even says to Jake. I love, Kathy. I love, how they don't treat me like I'm odd.
Right.
I'm just normal to them.
Yeah. And
You
Jake,
know?
and maybe the fact that Jake didn't Kathy and Hamilton grew up with her,
True,
but they
true.
still support her. But he's new,
Yeah.
and he indicates just by saying, "I don't sleep well after the war," that he kind of understands. He
Yeah.
kind of understands what she's going
does.
through
He does.
because she's been through her own kind of
Own
war.
kind of war. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, layer after layer. Watch it again sometime, and I'm going to see some more layers. You know.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
the layers come from amazing writing, amazing acting, amazing directing, amazing camera shots. This,
Yeah.
the cinematography, the camera shots are just spot on.
And the house is not
Oh yeah.
very light. It's not very
No, right. Very
it's
true. Very
it
true.
yeah. So the only time we really get light is when she's outside with Jake.
Right. Very, very meticulously location. Okay,
Yeah.
when you're with Jake, you're gonna be
Oh,
outside in the sunshine.
I
You know.
suppose the New Year's Eve party is pretty light, but she's
Yeah,
already made
because
her decision.
that's where she's already made her decision. Right.
Yeah.
Very,
That's
very, very strong story.
yeah.
Very amazing, strong storytelling for a woman gets to find herself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I think we hopefully have convinced people to go see this and to rent it or whatever you need to do. I found it on Amazon Prime for $3.79 to rent.
Mm-hmm.
It's very inexpensive even to purchase if you choose. I think she should have been Oscar nominated, quite frankly.
Oh yeah. Oh
She's
yeah.
amazing in it, and
And almost all of the viewer reviews are good for this book film.
really true. There's
And
some
they said
people
several of them
yeah.
say it's a very unusual film.
Yeah, and there was one user review I read. She's like, I have written people, I mean, stations over and over again. Please show this movie. Please show this movie. It needs to be shown more. And boy, and so finally she said she and my siblings who love it, we finally purchased it because we were like, okay, this never show it. And we want to see it whenever
Right.
we want to see it. And I was telling Jamie that very thing. I said, man, if they ever show it and it comes on, I'm going to turn it on.
Well, I think I saw it on Turner Classic Movies.
Yeah, someone said the last time they saw it on Turner Classic Movies was 2011.
And I bought it because I loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fantastic directing, and I always get a warm fuzzy when men know how to direct women.
And I always get a real warm fuzzy when men characters are written as full
Full
spectrum
circle,
men.
right?
I know.
All right.
Okay, so the next film is going to be a special Halloween film, and it's one of our favorite Cary Grant movies, Arsenic and Old Lace. I'll just tell you that. So go watch Arsenic and Old Lace, and then we'll have fun talking about it. And then the next film after that in November, Gaslight, which a
Oh,
lot of young people don't know that the term gaslight came from a
yep.
movie.
Oh,
Actually, it's more
another
than one
fantastic.
movie because they did remakes of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but the one with Ingrid Bergman's the best.
Oh yeah, I know. I know. So that's the one where oh, hi puppy.
Hi,
Okay,
Jim.
so say bye-bye.
Bye.
And we'll see you next time, and don't forget to go check out our Facebook group
Yes, join our
and
group. Watch
and
our movies.
subscribe. It's free to subscribe to our channel and make comments, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.